I mean, if you start with our project and you look at some of our revenue targets and it's all really sobering, it's all incredibly challenging, and the only way to succeed is to break things down. You know, the analogy of eating the elephant, it's absolutely right. For us, it's about building momentum, it's about building credibility, it's a lot of positioning. As I mentioned in the previous morning session, we're investing significantly into insight. We're going to take a very scientific approach. So it's there is no magic wand to me achieving success with my project. It's a mixture of all of those, but also partnerships. We began a commercial journey, and when we delivered the tournament in 2013, it was a very simple transactional rights fee, media value, and that's completely different. And we're talking to some really interesting brands who are interested in us, because at the moment we are storytellers and they're interested in our story. We're delivering not just the men's tournament, but the women's tournament and the wheelchair tournament. And my one takeaway and my one challenge to you all today is, if you've never seen Wheelchair Rugby League, and it's completely different to the rugby union version, just look on YouTube and you will be absolutely amazed. And we've got an inspirational ambassador called James Simpson. His story: he lost his legs in Afghanistan when he triggered an IED, and he says that Wheelchair Rugby League saved his life. And to work with people like that and to be inspired, and that's one of our real key themes, is to inspire people. But yeah, if you've never seen Wheelchair Rugby League, then go and have a look at that. It's pretty brutal, but it's pretty exciting.
We'll be going to Google to find those on YouTube later, I'm sure. And then obviously you've got a mission statement to deliver the biggest and the best Rugby League World Cup ever. And you're saying it's going to engage and excite and leave a lasting legacy. So, how are you going to deliver on all of those?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it's got to transcend the sport of rugby league. We've seen some absolutely terrific global sporting events in the UK, and we're not the FIFA World Cup, we're not the Olympic Games, but we are the next tier of sporting events. And I believe if you look at the calendar in 2021, and by definition our target is to sell 750,000 tickets, I believe we are the biggest tournament in the world in 2021. So success for us looks like full venues, it looks like giving people a world-class customer experience and enjoying that experience when they come to our games. But our journey started now, and we're trying to engage. So our legacy programme, which we launched a few months ago, is about engaging with a new audience. We're not trying to convince people to play rugby league. That would be great, but take the physicality away, take the game away, and our legacy programme is threefold. Firstly, around volunteering. Secondly, around the capital infrastructure. So we've got some money from government, and when people say, what's your legacy, John, in 2022? It's that clubhouse, it's that pitch, it's that team that's been set up with new kit and equipment. And our middle tier, that's called Inspired By, is dance and choir and heritage and public health and international development. So we know we're going to have to work really hard, but the legacy, if we reflect what does success look like, my colleagues who work in the sport would say England lifting all 3 trophies. We clearly can't say that. But the grounds that are full, vibrant atmosphere, and some of those people who've been engaged by what we've done staying with the sport thereafter, and I think that's very relevant also from a brand perspective.
Yeah. And then obviously just only back in July the host bid process closed, and then you're going to be making the announcement of the host in January.
Yeah.
So can you tell us anything about the potential shortlisters, how they got there, what they did that made them stand out from the other venues?
Yeah, I can tell you a number of things. First of all, don't believe the Wikipedia page that we've already selected our venues. We absolutely haven't. Secondly, the process has been just fantastic. We started in January. We had 40 towns and cities that expressed an interest. We've whittled those down. The fact today is actually the day when people have sort of refined the bids, and that's it, the doors have closed. And we've got 28 towns and cities. So we're actually in a really privileged position that we've got more than we need. We've run the process through the public sector. So we've asked each local authority to be the lead applicant, and that's been a really interesting proposition. We've asked them for a rights fee, and in a challenging time for the public sector, that's been quite a difficult conversation. But what that's amounted to is we've got 28 world-class bids, and my board will have some really tough decisions to make. So it's going to be wonderfully exciting. We will announce them in January. If I could do anything differently, I'd lift our tournament up, which is in October and November, and move it into summer. We can't do that. What that means is that we will use a number of Premier League and Football League venues, and of course we're right bang in the middle of their season. So there'll be some logistics challenges that we'll have to overcome. I mentioned in the early session, tomorrow is the Sports Grand Final at Old Trafford, and there'll be 70,000 people inside there enjoying it, and we delivered our last World Cup final at Old Trafford. So no decision's been made, can't tell you exactly where the venues are. Our commitment to government in the funding that we receive is that 80% of our tournament will be played in the Northern Powerhouse, and that's really exciting to me because the North, for me, means cool, modern, contemporary, big cities, and we'll have our tournament largely based around the Northern Powerhouse, but also with a really significant footprint in London. And let's not forget, because we're staging 3 tournaments, we're going to be seeking some really wonderful indoor venues to showcase our wheelchair tournament.
Fantastic. And then finally, what role will technology play? We know the last 2 days we've heard a lot about technology and the millennials and, you know, all the different demographics. Yeah. How is it going to, play out?
Massively so. I mean, technology and digital, one of our core objectives is to stage a digitally connected event. So if you think of what that might look like on match day, it's the ability to share experiences in big venues, which is obviously challenging, all the way through to the technology ecosystem that we're trying to create. So one app where we drive content, where people will buy the tickets. I've said a number of times and been told off by my team we're going to be a ticketless tournament, because I just can't imagine in 2021 being anything other than a ticketless tournament. So we absolutely want to embrace digital. We're doing a lot of learning. Fascinating talk I went to the other day about augmented reality. I think that will play a really big part in our tournament. And I guess for us, we're just a bit of future gazing, because technology is evolving so rapidly, and we might put all of our chips on augmented reality, and of course in 3 years' time that's not what people are engaging with. So a bit of future gazing involved, but technology, digital will be at the heart of our tournament, and it has to be if we want to engage with a new audience.